Going back to the filtering of the cost plan. First, let me activate some more of these. Activate this, and while I do that, you can see that the row indicator is replaced from being empty, which means none of the underlying data is used to calculate the cost. It's just this line item, to a half circle, which means that some of the underlying data is used to calculate the number. The more I activate in here, the more full that number will be. It goes down further to here. This is probably the last one that I need to activate. Now it's completely full. So B shell uses all the underlying data, and that is 7 levels deep if I remember correctly. The deeper you go, of course, the more granular the quantity takeoff needs to be. A new feature that we added as well is the takeoff quantity filter, and that filter lets you quickly reduce the length of the cost plan and focus on items that are model-based or not model-based, rather. If something is not model-based, you probably want to check if those quantities are correct. They may be a manual quantity takeoff or an assumption, or number comes from somewhere. And so as I remove these checkboxes, you'll see that the cost plan is updated. Removing the model-based quantity check mark will make this cost plan a lot shorter. So everything that we see here now has active cost, so it's really contributing to the total cost of the project that is not model-based. And one of the things that helps me, or that helps me to do, is that I can find the items that are incorrect. So if I have a takeoff item that could not be found in the collection of takeoff items for the project, in this case it's red, I can quickly dig that up, because that will then turn into a manual quantity. So every time I remove one, and then finally I end up with just this set. Okay. So that's the tuck filter. One of the easiest features we've ever done. Let's re-enable everything. So another way to make the navigation and the cost plan easier is using these navigation tools. Earlier you had to close all the nodes when you wanted to create a more consolidated view. These arrows and plus and minus now help you to do that for all items in the cost plan. Collapse all of them, expand one by one, collapse one by one, expand everything. Especially with this data set, I think that really looks well. The set of columns that we use for quantity, cost, variance, and margins, those are the ones that we predefined. It is also possible to create your own set. So, especially when using a view that has limited amount of space in the horizontal direction, it's good to, or it's easy to set up something that only has 3 columns or so. So what I did here is I created my own column preset. I call it Cost Explorer, because with that you can show code, description, and then total cost. That's pretty much what you want to see if you use it in combination with Cost Explorer. You do that by opening Manage, just add a new one, and then you click Edit. And that gives you the list of columns that you have available for the cost planner view. And you start removing the items you don't want to see, or adding those items that you do want to see. So component price, total price, okay. And that updates, and now I have a very small set that only shows me the strictly necessary columns. And to the use of references. References work with the project and references tab, of course. Drag and drop from the references tab into the project. While that is opening, I can take a sip. The data set that is loaded now is several thousand line items. This is the reference that I selected in the defined settings. This is the current project. I wanted to show one new feature that we added there. So drag and drop, nothing new. Always wait until you don't see the circle with the red thing around it anymore. Because that means you're dragging it to a location where you cannot drag it. It will not be copied. So what is new is when the conflict resolution comes up, we used to have three options: show me, override, and add new. But oftentimes you made some change in the project and you want to keep that change. You changed the cost per unit for a reason. So if you want to do that, you just click keep existing. Or you want to select apply action to all found conflicts too. Keep existing. There's a third way from the project which allows you to just type in any code or any description, and it will bring up the list of components that match that first part of the text. If you just enter, it will include that in the cost plan and copies everything. Okay. Let's see, import and export. There's not too much to go over there. Saving a version is what we want to do for the use with Cost Explorer. So far we have created 3 cost plan versions, or actually Ian created 3 cost plan versions. If I want to add another one, I click Save Version, and that creates a snapshot of the current status. So that is today at 3:16. Save it, and that cost plan will then be available for me to review in the Cost Explorer later on.